We continue to preview the 2025 college volleyball season. Our stop today is Pikeville, Kentucky, as we get to visit with the head coach for the Pikeville Bears, Mary Haynes, heading into her second season at the helm. Coach, 19-13 in 2024. I'd like to talk about last season just a little bit. That's the second most wins in 15 years in the program, finished sixth in the AAC, and I know that's a tough volleyball conference as well. Tell us a little bit about last year.
Last year was an awesome year. We have our returners that were solid, but we had 9 freshmen. So to go into a season where we're picked to be 11th out of 16 and to come out as strong as we did, I think took a little bit of people aback. And I think, this team just had so much drive this year. And we did a lot of rebuilding and revamping our culture and bringing in a familial aspect to the team. So coming into the gate, we started 4 freshmen. We had amazing numbers with those young women who were had nothing to lose. And the support of the older team members too, especially in practices, driving them, talking to them on the sidelines. I mean, it was definitely a group effort to be as successful as we were this year.
I'm sure that a number of those freshmen are coming back for this year and with spring practice and all that went on. Tell us a little bit about your spring and how have you developed this year?
So coming into the spring, we had a couple of changes in our offense. We brought in 2 transfer athletes as well. So it's enabled us to look at options running a 5-1 and running a 6-2 with more hitters and setters available. We've been able to, I don't think we ran a single lineup that was the same, just so we could see what everybody offered and brought to the table, especially because verticals had improved, strength had improved, right. Confidence was growing, especially for returners, just to come in and go, wow, I really can do this. This is happening. And I'm proud of all the effort they put in, because they were working out in the weight room. They were working with resistance. They were jump training. And then on top of that, during our time period that we had as a team, really getting to go in and do individuals and team workouts. So they definitely put in the time during the spring. So it was fun to see their improvements.
Really sounds like the program is trending the right direction for you now. And that really sounds great, which leads us then to 2025. Fall is on the way. It's going to be here before you know it, Coach. And I know, and I hope you have a good, restful summer going into the fall season. Among those coming back, Cassidy Rivas, she was a member of the All-Appalachian freshman team, led the team in kills last year, 3rd in digs. And Lainey Hawley was on the All-AAC first team 2 years in a row. She's been an all-conference performer for you. A sophomore and a freshman for those 2. And Hawley's second on the team in kills. So I would imagine your offense starts there.
Right. I think we've been blessed to have those 2 young women, especially when they're in the front line together. It's a force to be reckoned with. So it's nice when the blockers don't know where they're going, necessarily, and to open it up to a 6-2 and have that 3rd hitter. And in our deeper lineup that we're having in this upcoming season, I think you're going to be impressed with that. But, to watch Cass really just mold and shape as an athlete, it was really fun to watch her not just be the powerhouse that she is, but to place the ball and communicate with her teammates and see that development. It was really nice to watch as a coach and see her growth. In addition to Lainey's leadership, there's intangibles that you don't see in the stat sheets that she's able to offer to her teammates, and she's part of our leadership team. And we're blessed to have those athletes on our court with us. So, and to be so young, we get to keep them. So
that's always a positive, Coach, when you get a player that you really, really appreciate and enjoy having on the team, and you just hope that's a young player that's going to be around for a long time. With the offense in mind for just a little bit longer too, there will be a little bit different look from the perspective of your setter coming into 2025. You mentioned the possibility of looking at not only the 5-1 but a 6-2 as well. So tell us a little bit about the setter position.
We have a young lady coming in who's actually a Kentucky resident, coming in from Ashland Paul Blazer High School. Her name's Grace Clark. She's a setter from their team, and they've always been very successful, making it into the top numbers in the state here in Kentucky. And we have her coming in as a true freshman. We have Aspen Broughton, who ran our JV offense for us and did a great job last season. She comes from a beach background, being from the Astoria area of Oregon. She has a lot of versatility, and her defense is phenomenal too as a setter. And then we have Magda Vicencio, who came in from Chile, and she is a JUCO transfer out of Hill College. So we've been blessed to be able to bring them in, and then to look at other utility players that we have to run both a 6-2 and a 5-1 option is a blessing, because we do have the hitters this season. We're looking at a 27 rostered group between our JV and varsity, and we're strong. We don't recruit just to fill a roster. We recruit because we want to win. And this team has told me our goal is to win. We want that banner in the gym. We want to show that we've been through 3 coaches, but we're going to do this. And that's our senior class. And I've got 5 of them leaving me after this season. And they really want to leave a legacy. And I think that that's always been a huge part of my programs, is talking about what do you leave with them? Because it's not just about your stats. It's not just about, what you are contributing, but it's about the culture that you're leaving, and then that stamp. And they said, well, we want to leave the banner as a reminder, and then just create the culture that we expect from people at UPike.
That's so fun to listen to, Coach. That's very encouraging. We're visiting now with Coach Mary Haynes from Pikeville, heading into her second season with the program. And I want to pause the preview just a little bit, Coach, because I've read your bio a few times, and just getting ready for the opportunity to visit with you today. It lists that there is a time where you spent some time in Scotland, an associate pastor for Cove Congregational Church in Cove Bay, Scotland, and you got your master's in theology from Aberdeen as well. Now, I have to tell you, Mrs. Midwest Sportsnet and I have always wanted to go to Scotland. That's one of those big things we want to do. We want to go to the UK, and Scotland in particular. Tell us a little bit about that part of your journey and how that shaped you.
I think what's funny is that I grew up in Florida. Like, my family's West Virginians through and through, but I grew up in Florida, and then somehow I end up in Scotland, after all that. But I was in Scotland to study my practical theology and Christian ethics program. There were 5 of us in that, and it was a really good, tight-knit program. And I was like, this is where I want to be. And I get over there, and I have the opportunity to play ball. So what was really cool is, here we are, I'm legitimately just walking through what you would consider to be a college fair. And somebody's like, hey, you want to play? And I was like, hey, I played for 4 years. Like, how's it work when you come over here? But they have a really competitive league called BUSA at the time. It's now changed since then, but it was a British University Sports Association. And they're like, you can still play. It doesn't correlate. And I was like, okay. So I try out for the team. I end up playing middle and setter, which are very diverse positions, but our setter went down. I ended up having to run our offense until we got to the national title game, of which we did win the national title. But I did that playing middle versus playing setter. So, it was just such a cool experience to be there and be a part of something greater than yourself, but also to be there studying the word and learning so much more about myself. I really just needed that fresh start of, who am I after volleyball is what I was really looking for. And then volleyball will find you. It's not, I was sitting there, I was like, how am I going to live my life now that I've played this for so many years? And going off to Scotland seemed to be the answer. And then it still ended up happening. And you don't go, overseas volleyball, British League, like, that's just not something a lot of people think about, but it allowed my 5'9" self to still continue to be a middle and then transition into setter in both, and got to play for Team Scotland while I was there as well, which was really cool because we were offered the opportunity to try out for that team where we played within the Isles, and it was a really cool experience to be a part of that with a couple other Americans, Canadians, Germans, and then young ladies from Scotland as well. So it was neat. But I can tell you that what's funny about living in Aberdeen and then coming here and being in Pikeville is the friendly community and the way that people just value you as a person, and everybody's so nice that it makes you want to be nicer. So it's like this continuous pay it forward, and the landscape is so similar. It's just been so fun to be here and be able to raise my family here in a comparable setting. So, and be back in the sport that I love. So.
That is awesome to hear. That's a great story, and I know that had to have a great impact on your life too, and you can carry so much from it. Coach, let me go back to the preview then. I enjoy that. Thank you for taking a little time there. Defensive side, I mentioned Lainey Hawley, a two-time All-Conference performer. Second on the team. What?
I said she puts up a mean block, right?
That's what I was going to say. She we talked about on the offensive side, she led your team in blocks as well. Tell us a little bit about your defense. I'm sure that Holly has a big part there.
Yeah, I mean, when we're looking at our block, if you look at our lineup, we're not gargantuan, tall fortresses. We are quick. We've worked really hard on our verticals. We've worked on our lateral motion, and we'll add that into our summer training as well, working on lateral movement and quickness and speed. A lot of it comes with confidence in our front line to be able to not second guess yourself and close to the appropriate hitter. But in addition to, our defense and having young ladies in the back who are talking to each other and really communicating. I've got 2 seniors who are graduating who play back line for me. I've got a upcoming sophomore who was leading as a libero, which is Ashton Filkin. So we had talked about previously, like she's just, there are times where I'm afraid I have to wrap her in bubble wrap because that kid will go after anything. We're playing a scrimmage during our spring and she's taking out the scorers table because she just doesn't know. She doesn't say stop, and
Right.
And to have kids that are like that, that's what this team is. And everybody's just cheering her on, like, take out whatever else you need to, we'll move the chairs, it's cool to see the effort because we always talk about in practice, if we're not we're throwing it that far because we know you can get there on your feet. We're showing you what you're capable of. It's tighter than that, but we know you can play it. Like there are things that we just say, don't set your expectations to keep yourself from failing. Fail a little bit so that you can get better and then you succeed the next time. So that's what we're working for. And I know it's a process, but it's worth it. And it's fun to watch that development or have them watch their practices on Huddle and go, oh yeah, look what I did. I'm like, right. I told you. I wasn't making that up. That really happened, So.
Well, Coach, I mentioned the season will get here before you know it. And among the start to your schedule, of course, you'll have the Appalachian portion of your schedule, which I'm sure is very, very tough part. Pre-conference, you get to go on the road to Campbellsville, play some neutral opponents there, and then an interesting match as well, among other things in the pre-conference schedule, taking on WVU Tech in a very special setting. Tell us a little bit about the pre-conference portion.
So we'll go to Campbellsville, which we're really excited about being able to play over there because Lindsey Wilson, Campbellsville are hosting, but not to write them off because, they're home state, but to be able to play in the historic Williamson Fieldhouse against WVU Tech is a really cool opportunity for Appalachian volleyball. There has never been a collegiate match played in the Fieldhouse, and to bring collegiate volleyball there, especially for the young women who are like, nobody looks at us. We're in the middle of a mountain. We are playing a sport that just got here. And, we're just now getting coaches who are learning more about the sport or have played the sport before because we're still very new in different areas. Whereas I grew up in Florida, it was around and everybody played and I got introduced to it at a young age where some kids aren't starting in this area until high school. But for them to see young women who are from this area who are playing for a college that is more tangible for them to see this and watch. It's something really exciting for myself to be a part of. And what's really cool about playing against WVU Tech is I was formerly employed there as a counselor with the Upward Bound program and to influence kids in Appalachia to go to college, even though they're first gen. So it's really cool to be able to do that in the volleyball aspect. Hey, you're the first one maybe in your family to play this sport, but look what you can do. And we're growing in leaps and bounds. And men's volleyball is even coming out now, to become a bigger sport, so it's growing and people are engaged in it. And now we get to bring it to the heart of the mountains. So
that's looks like a really fun season ahead for you, Coach. And again, seems like the program is definitely trending in the right direction. Coach Mary Haynes from Pikeville University, the Bears heading into season number 2 under her helm. And Coach, thank you very much for taking time with us today as we preview the season. We will follow the Bears this year, and we just appreciate you being here on the channel.
No problem.